Hi, Jody Hardesty with Empowered Heart Connections. Many couples have to navigate many stages in relationships, but one thing that can be challenging to overcome and not have it be a separating factor is when one partner has done an exceptional amount of emotional or spiritual growth and the other partner maybe has not yet. Sometimes it can create a division in the relationship that can leave you to kind of wondering whether the connection is really going to be able to be sustainable. So some things to help during this process are, first of all, as I've mentioned in almost every one of my videos, is open and honest communication. Is sharing your experiences with your partner, talking honestly about what you've gone through, the changes that you've experienced, sharing your journey with your partner and having your kind of emotional experience to talk with your partner about can be eye-opening for your partner, but can also really help you kind of reiterate your own growth and also see what their response is. Encourage your partner to also express their feelings and perspectives about the growth and the changes, and listen with empathy, without judgment, without criticism, which can be hard, especially if they're like, well, you seem to be growing apart from me, or you just seem to be so disconnected now that you're in a different place, or you feel like you're better than me, or whatever those comments are, to really be empathetic to however that feeling is that they're experiencing because of the changes, and honoring and understanding that their, again, feelings are valid even though you may disagree with them. Also evaluating what your expectations are from your partner now and sharing them with your partner as well. And this can be difficult because sometimes this is where we discover that perhaps a relationship needs to do a lot more work in order to be able to sustain. But really evaluating what those needs and expectations are in the relationship, identifying, what your partner can do that may be able to meet you where you're at, and identifying what you can do that can meet your partner where they're at. So sometimes it takes adjusting those expectations to really meet your partner where they're at, or vice versa, but really understanding, okay, so is this a part of my life that I'm going to need to continue to learn and grow with, and my partner's unable or willing to meet me where I'm at? Or are we able to kind of find a common ground still and still connect with expectations that are maybe a little bit different, or maybe really reiterating what the expectations we already had and acknowledging the value of what they are? Also, invite your partner. If you want them to join you in your growth, you want to have an invitation, not a demand. So this can really evaluate or help you evaluate what down the line is going to be possible for you to have a relationship or a connection with your partner. So if you are willing and able to invite them to join you on this journey that you've been on and this opportunity for growth, recommending books if they're open to reading books, or maybe even documentaries or podcasts or things to your partner that may have helped you, can help them kind of maybe move along a little bit, again, if they're willing. And this, again, is a determining factor in some relationships. If you feel like you are just willing to grow and learn and do the work and your partner is unable or unwilling to do that, again, that might be something that is a difficult place to assess of whether or not you're able to grow together or if you're growing apart. But if your partner is willing to join you in the growth journey, it is really important to celebrate those small steps and celebrate those that willingness for them to really kind of step outside of their own comfort zone and meet you where you're at, which can be really healing for both of you. And then also offer to meet them where they're at. If there is something that maybe you've kind of resisted, that is something that they find important, or they find that they're growing in a different way, that you can really join them where they're at, so you can both be learning from each other. It is really helpful whenever both couples are able to kind of help and share with the other some new and enlightening information to help them grow. The other thing is to go back to your shared values that you already have. What brought you guys together? What are things that are common ground for you? What are some ways that you do connect really deeply? What are some experiences that you have that have really aligned your value system or aligned the way you guys are growing together in a positive way? and then really reassessing what your goals are together. So if maybe you're going in one direction and your partner's going in another direction, it may be time to reevaluate what your common goals are. How do we get back aligned into our mutual belief systems, into our mutual goals, to really find a place where we can connect in a loving way and continue to grow and learn together, even if it's not exactly the way you're growing and learning specifically. And this can happen, this growth can happen, again, it can be just kind of some self-help things that you're doing, or maybe you're getting some different education, or maybe you're expanding in your career, or maybe you're deciding to get really healthy. So there's all kinds of ways that we can grow differently than our partner. And there are some, again, opportunities for reconnecting with your partner in a different way, but it can also be difficult to understand that it might be time to respect differences. So if your partner is, an avid gym rat now, and you're like, I don't really like the gym, then those things can be okay as long as you are honoring and respecting each other's differences. That, okay, hey, my husband's a gym rat, that's good for him. I like rock climbing. So you can have those differences where you are still having the shared value of health and taking care of yourself, right? But maybe you're not doing it the same way. So really finding a way to honor what those things that are that make you guys different, and how you can acknowledge and appreciate some of the differences, but also really resisting the desire to say that, well, I rock climb and that's better, or my husband goes to the gym and that's better, right? Growth can take many forms, and being healthy and learning and changing is an opportunity for all of us, and it doesn't necessarily have to be one size fits all. So really understanding that, hey, maybe evaluating what those expectations are and if they're reasonable, and if your partner has a difference than you and you're still growing and learning together, that is that enough? Is that something that you guys can still continue to have a connection around, even if it's maybe in a different direction? Setting boundaries with your own personal development, and clearly communicating them is really helpful. So if you are needing to have a little extra time in the day to do your meditation activity that you've taken up, or if you're needing a little extra time in the day to go to the gym or to go take college classes, or whatever it is that you're doing, that it can be time to really assess boundaries with you and your partner to make sure that you guys are allowing each other that time and opportunity for growth, and really also being able to reconnect whenever you have had those differences or those times to be apart. And again, really, this whole process is evaluating your compatibility. If your paths are really separating in a way that you're not able to come together, and your differences are so vast that your maybe value systems have changed and you've grown apart, that is something to assess and determine whether or not it's really going to be possible for the two of you to maintain a deep and connected relationship. And that can be a really painful experience whenever we have outgrown our partner, or we feel like we've outgrown our partner, or we've just grown apart in a different way. This may be time also to reach out for some support or some help from a relationship coach or couples counselor, to make sure that you are really exploring all of the nuances of the relationship. And it's helpful to get kind of a third-party perspective, especially since we all have a tendency to really reassess or reaffirm our own belief system. So sometimes it can be helpful to come in and just evaluate with a third party if are these expectations too much? Are we really growing apart, or is there really opportunities for growth together? Or maybe am I having a blind spot that I can't see, that my growth is not allowing me to see my partner's strengths as well? So really assessing all of those details, again, with a third party, can be really helpful to determine whether or not the relationship is going to be able to progress in a positive way. So I know this can be a difficult experience, but recognizing again that personal growth is important and it's an opportunity for you, and that sometimes relationships do play out in a way that isn't really what we're hoping for, but that the opportunity for growth and moving forward in your life in a positive way is something that is needed to be assessed potentially in that relationship. So thank you so much for watching. Again, if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and maybe even share with your friends. And thank you so much for watching.